What's up, NBA fans? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel, giving a shout out to the rest of the crew, everyone who's tuning in. Thank you for supporting Behind the Bench. Subscribe to the channel. Help make the show the best that it can be. Let's get right to it. NBA rumors, potential trades. You know what's crazy? In years past, when it came to the NBA, whatever roster that a team had starting the season off or entering the season, that's pretty much the same team that they would run with for the duration throughout. A trade may happen here or there, but it was nothing as frequent as what we see today. You know, it's 20 games into the season. We're already talking about trades. You lose 1 or 2 games in a row, everybody panicking and whatnot. But as they say, everything comes full circle. And what I've been saying, there will come a point where your own, you cannot replace your own. You cannot do it. What I mean by that is, if you make a decision to cast away your own players when they are, on average, 2 years into their career, you can't replace them. Even when they're not mature all the way. Imagine, think about this. Imagine if the Lakers would have traded Kobe Bryant after his second year. Because remember, Kobe Bryant, although he had the talent to start as a rookie, he had to earn that starting position from Eddie Jones, who was an all-star level 2 guard in his own right. And he was one of my favorite players during the 90s with Eddie Jones out of the University of Temple. Now imagine if the Lakers say, you know what, maybe we did act hasty by, drafting an 18-year-old, and we're just going to stick with Eddie Jones. What if they would have traded Kobe Bryant after 2 years? It's not, looking back on it, considering, the player he became throughout his career, you would think it would be crazy for that to happen. Well, that's essentially what happened to the young core. That's essentially, and I hate to keep harping back on this, but everything coming full circle to where when the well run dry, you're gonna start looking to bring back some of your own players. Your identity, you have to me a greater sense of purpose as a franchise when you build up and develop your own players who you draft. Like every successful franchise has its own identifiable player, for the most part, throughout history. Even if that team now win a championship with their star player, like Dominique Wilkins. When you think of Dominique Wilkins, you think of the Atlanta Hawks. They didn't win a championship. When you think of Patrick Ewing, boom, New York Knicks. When you think of Clyde Drexler, Portland Trail Blazers. You see what I'm saying? Those type of players, man. Grant Hill. Prior to the injuries, when you think of Grant Hill, you think of the Detroit Pistons. Yao Ming, awesome player. Houston Rockets. You see what I'm saying? So when you cast that out, a void is going to be left. Because what you're really saying is, see, the onus is not on the player. Rather, if he's performing or not, the onus is on the brass, the organization, if they're willing to stay patient and stay the course. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm getting at is, rumor is, Brandon Ingram, who's probably going to be traded from the New Orleans Pelicans. He's played the last 5 years of his career in New Orleans. Now, his first 2 years in the NBA were very similar to Kobe Bryant's. Now, I'm not comparing the players in terms of who's better or who's going to wind up, going down in history as better. We all know Kobe. I look Kobe Bryant is my favorite. Kobe Bryant been my favorite player basketball wise since his junior year, Lower Merion High School, up until his retirement. So that's not the issue. But in terms of a young player starting his career out, Brandon Ingram, Kobe Bryant averaged about the same amount of points per game their rookie year, and both players doubled their scoring output in their second year. Kobe averaged like around 16, about 15.6. B.I. averaged about like 16, 16.1. And then Kobe's third year, his first year starting at the two guard, he averaged around 19.9. Ingram averaged 18.1. But he would have averaged more, no doubt in my mind, if they didn't bring the Hurricane on board. So rumor is that, according to the latest report, the Lakers have the greatest chance of acquiring Brandon Ingram in a trade. And I'm conflicted because, like I said, man, I love that young core, man. They represented their jersey with pride. I watched all 82 games during the regular season, and they did not sell us short for 1 second. Were there games where you can say, they played bad that night? Okay, they're young. Okay, so you know that's gonna happen. But they gave the effort. They came back the next game, boom. They said, okay, we gonna definitely play better next time. We're going to do our best to avenge that loss. Okay. So my thing is, if the Lakers are looking to trade for B.I. and bring him back home, that means that they believe he's good enough. Well, if he's good enough now, that means he was good enough then, when he was just starting out. And that's why I say, man, this whole thing is so convoluted, and the fact of the matter is, he shouldn't have been traded when he was traded, because he was improving. It wasn't like he was stagnant, or like I said, it wasn't like he was loafing. And I've watched many of basketball players give interviews, man, and I'm gonna sit here and say this right now. Jordan was always professional and cordial to the media. The Mamba, Kobe Bean Bryant. I mean, I can go down the line, man. But to me, I think Brandon Ingram, and I'm not just saying it just because he was drafted as a Laker. I'm saying it because the way he stood out in his interviews, man, I was so impressed. I think, man, from my years of watching professional basketball, he has given the best interviews and had the best demeanor, professionalism that I've ever seen of any basketball player that's ever played in this league. Especially when the rumors started to circle around him that he was gonna get traded. He didn't show no animosity. Not saying he didn't do it behind closed doors, because I'm sure he did. Because essentially, when they found out that the Hurricane was trying to get them traded, they said, forget it, we're not going to play hard for you. And they basically, now I take that back. After their All-Star game, returning back from All-Star break, Brandon Ingram was playing the best basketball of his career. He was playing better than anybody on the team. He was dropping 28, 29, 30-point games on the regular, and then he suffered the blood clots. And he had to undergo a medical procedure to remove the blood clots. And he didn't recover from that until really prior to the start of the next season, after he was traded down there to the Pelicans. But I'm conflicted because if the Hurricane wasn't on the team and he was brought back, I would be happy. I'd be very happy because I get to finally root for an original member of the young core, or a member of the original young core, I should say, And the uniform he was supposed to have been playing for, and the team supposed to have been representing the whole time, and now he's in his prime, and that would make me very happy. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having to follow him and the rest of them elsewhere. But at the same time, if I'm a player, knowing how I've been treated, and like I said, they was treated like the way they were treated in that whole process, man. It was ugly. I've never seen young professional athletes, man, be treated like that. Never in any sport, football, baseball, hockey. I'm not like an avid hockey fan, but I know that there's been some great players that have played in professional hockey. But my point is, man, the way they were treated, man, it was like they were just, man, they've been led to the slaughter, man. That's what it felt like. So that's why I said I got their back no matter what, man, because they did not deserve that. There was no rationalization for that whole experience to take place. But if I was him, I would want to come back. Why? My attitude would be like, well, why y'all want me back now? Y'all didn't want me in when when they really needed our support when they were young. So why would y'all want me to come back now? Now I see a lot of Laker fans saying, welcome home, man. It's like you never left. I'm like, well, that was his home the whole time. And then you got some that say, no, they don't want him back because of this and that. But the real reason is they know they would cast it out. See, it's ugly business, man. When you start dealing, when you get into the hurricane business, it gets ugly. It gets real ugly. And the justification is, well, we supposed to be winning. It's about winning right now. Well, like I say, the team ain't winning, and they haven't done anything since the bubble. And even that, even that has a lot of angles flying around it. You see what I'm saying? It ain't. How can I say that? It ain't a rank and file. So, but if he is traded, I think some teams that would really that he could, like a team that may be a piece away that need a wing, that a 3-and-D wing or a elite level score at that wing position that can really take that team over the top or to the next level. I would say the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis Grizzlies, they back now. They in third place currently in the Western Conference. Now the Timberwolves supposed to have the least favorable odds to acquire him, but I think that'd be a good move. If he'll kind of reunite with Julius Randle, and that'd be an upgrade over Jaden McDaniels. Minnesota, they could probably really do something. I would say one of those young squads, man. I really, they talking about, San Antonio Spurs. I think at this point in his career, the way he's represented the Pelican franchise, with the franchise player being out constantly due to injury, lead New Orleans to the playoffs twice, I don't think he should be traded to the Spurs. Not the Chicago Bulls, because they'll be kind of like in rebuild mode. Houston Rockets, that'd be awesome. But Houston, I think they're okay. Me personally, currently they're in second place in the West. Golden State Warriors, I couldn't really complain about that one, but at the end of the day, I believe they've had a championship run, although they're off to a fairly good start this season. But I think that's a team that they've had a run. The Hawks to me would be a lateral move. The Miami Heat, I think they'd kind of. I mean, they play hard nosed, man, and I don't think that. I would not want to see him go to the Miami Heat. The Clippers, they're being coached well this year. They're playing good basketball, and they're deep. They brought in some defensive players. Last year they were trying to rely too much on offense, but they got defense on their team now, and they playing good. They playing real good. But I would say the two teams that now Denver Nuggets. If he went to Denver, I would be shocked. I'd be shocked if he went to Denver. Then Denver could mess around and win a second championship. if they got Brandon Ingram, the pair with Jokic and Jamal Murray. But I would say the two teams, Memphis Grizzlies, they're kind of a young team on the verge of entering their prime. Ja Morant is back. They have a rookie Zach Edey at the center spot who's only getting started, and they got hard nosed. They play physical down there, man. They play tough, so that'd be a good place for him. Or Minnesota. He could get to play with Anthony Edwards and then Julius Randle. You still got Rudy Gobert. They'd be tough. They'd be a tough out. So I would say Memphis Grizzlies or the Minnesota Timberwolves. And like I said, man, as a Laker fan, man, if he was brought back without the hurricane in the picture, I would be happy, man. I'm not gonna even sit here in front. You know what I'm saying? But I would not want to go back. That's just me, just on GP. But at the same time, he's a Los Angeles Laker. That's what's crazy about it. At the same time, even when they were casted out, shipped out, traded out, waived out, cut out, whatever you want to call it, they were always Los Angeles Lakers to me. Even when I see them play right now, LA Lakers. That's who they are. That's who they are. And the franchise know it. I mean, what we talking about? And what's crazy is I remember Magic Johnson. When all this started, he always said, during this whole process, when the takeover hit, Magic Johnson said, our scouting department did an amazing job bringing in this young talent. We had the best young talent in the league. He said that right after they won that Summer League tournament in 2017, when all the Laker fans was in the crowd at Thomas and Mack Center, UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I'm telling you, man, the energy from that tournament, I'm telling you, it was like a springboard, a beginning to a new amazing chapter to Laker basketball after, the late, great Kobe Bean Bryant, man, retired and passed that torch, man. You see what I'm saying? So it felt so good, it gave me tingles. I said, man, you give us three, man, by the time new decade hit, I said, man, we're gonna knock them out the box. Knock them out the box, Rick. Out the box, Rick. I'm telling you. But like I said, man, it's either one of three things. I would like to see him go to Memphis Grizzlies as he's entering his prime. They're going to be a good team for years to come. The Minnesota Timberwolves, Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. I thought Anthony Edwards was about 25, 26 years old. I didn't realize that he's only 23 years old. So, I mean, he has a lot of room to improve, He's been kind of, I don't want to use the word inconsistent, but he's settling for too many 3-point shots. But if he can clean that up, man, and really develop that mid-range game, then Ant-Man can take his game to the next level. But, Brandon Ingram was traded there. That'd be a 1-2 punch for years to come. Or Memphis, him and Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson there, that'd be a great move for him. But if he returned back to the Lakers, man, man, don't help that dude out, because that dude is the very reason why he was traded to New Orleans for Anthony Davis. So it's very convoluted, man, and I'm halfway conflicted about it. But at the same time, you just try to navigate through it the best way you can, because none of this should have went down, and that's the whole. As they say, that's the whole ball of wax. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. But rumor is Brandon Ingram was probably going to be traded from the New Orleans Pelicans. And word is the Lakers have the greatest odds to acquire him in a trade and bring him back home. But I'm going to say Memphis Grizzlies, Minnesota Timberwolves will be my preferred destination for him to be traded to. And if he was brought back to the Lakers, the Hurricane has to go. He has to be disassociated from the franchise. But I just want to drop that nugget until next time. JB for BTB, Behind the Bench.